Some sorcery turns my attack. What?
Yes.
Yes.
Yes?
What?
Yes.
Lori Conforus.
What?
Yes.
Come this way.
Yes?
Come this way.
Yes.
Stay close. And step where I
To
step.
me, my allies, I shall lead.
Come this way.
Stay close. And step where I step.
Yes? Light.
Yes?
Yes.
Perhaps so.
To me, my allies, I shall lead.
Yes.
Perhaps so.
Yes.
What?
Yes.
Perhaps so.
Yes?
Yes.
Perhaps so.
You are my brother's heir in truth. Merkel should have left him in the wall, and you would have died under a pile of rock like the accident of fate that you've always been. You are as stubborn, as deluded, as blind as my brother ever was, and I will end your crusade here, as I should have ended his.
What?
Yes.
Stay close and step where I step.
Yes?
Stay close and step where I step.
Your soul is in that wall, where the Founder once was. Where I once was, before Akachi freed us.
Kalen the Dove, leader of the Second Crusade, and formerly one of my Doom Guides, returned. You are not welcome here, and your grandfather cannot intervene to save you a second time. Your presence is a reminder that I should not have been merciful.
Has anything you have done in your reign been merciful, my lord? I think that is the question you should ask.
Pride is not a shield from me, Kalen. Do not test my will in this. And you, Spirit Eater, you have brought strife to my gates, ignored every warning, allied yourself to a cause whose consequences were plain before your eyes. You were one of my faithful once. Has your suffering driven you so far and blinded you to the truth behind the wall? Do you understand what you risk? Bring down the wall, and mortals will see that they cannot be held to account for their faith. On that day, mortals will put faith aside, and the gods will bring vengeance upon them all. You have seen Merkel and heard his twisted words. Can you not guess my reason for yourself? And from that, I am forbidden. But if a mortal undid the curse, it would mean that there had always been a way to end Akachi's suffering.
You play games, and the currency is the suffering of the innocent? If you have pride, at least answer for your actions.
Even the gods are bound by laws, Kalen. As the heir of Akachi, you had the chance to set things right, to show the plains that some justice, however cruel it may seem, is necessary to prevent the greater evil. Call it what you will. No god may challenge the judgments of the dead, and your curse is no different. No, Spirit Eater. Tearing your soul from the wall will not be enough. Merkel's cruelties are not so easily undone. Akachi's hunger was born of loss, the loss of memory, soul, and self. He can only be freed from his hunger if he remembers who and what he is. Take back what is yours from the wall, and then return to Akachi what is his. All that you need, you have already found in dreams. Akachi's essence was scattered, not destroyed. If he had been utterly lost, nothing would remain to hunger. Merkel was so enamored of his own cruelty that he couldn't see its flaws. Free your soul. Bring the fragments together, and Akachi's hunger will end. No, you will not. I allowed you to come this far because your curse was unfairly earned, but I could cast you from this plane with a mere thought. You will wrest no souls from the wall, except for your own. Until you find a way to battle a god in his own realm, the wall of the faithless will stand. You are not that strong. Not yet.
The wall cannot persist, and even should we fail, the acts done here will serve as a beacon to others.
And I warn you, the wall does not willingly part with its treasures, even if they are wrongfully won.
Look there. That soul is covered in the foulness of the wall, but the face and features are yours. Come this way.
close. And step where I step.
To me, my allies, I shall lead.
Et alter nudiar. Lohi conforus. Bona partum. Lohi conforus. Remanere vetus. Verdictuex.
What? My steel will strike true.
Yes.
Perhaps so.
Yes?
Perhaps so.
Yes?
What? You won't both walk away from this. Won't both walk away from this. so.
Yes.
What?
I had no idea the founder was actually alive. And, well... in a manner of speaking, yes. She shaped me from a fragment of her own soul. When I saw her, it became so clear. Her voice reminded me of the voices I've been hearing since, well, as long as we can remember. Sorry, slip of the tongue. But the fact remains, there's this clarity in knowing, understanding the voices. My whole life I thought they were delusions, but it was actually the others lending me their warnings and wisdom, and sometimes their pain and nightmares. Yes, I guess I am talking to myself. It could be worse. I could, you know, eat spirits. Of course. Let's continue on.
The curse is finished. The betrayer's suffering has come to an end. You have restored his soul, done what gods thought beyond their power. Akachi has gone to his judgment, to the fate that should have been his had Merkel not intervened. Not to lie within the wall, but to find rest amongst the false souls of old. His torment is ended, and as for Merkel, the dark god's soul will fade and pass into oblivion as he deserves. Yes, betrayer and betrayed. One a mortal, the other a god. and both tales have come to an end. The chaos you sowed in my city will win you few friends amongst the gods. Deities of order will cast their eyes upon you as a symbol of all they oppose. For my part, I will pass no judgment upon you. I see in your crusade the hand of a dead god and the desperation of a forsaken soul trying to save the one she loved. And the good you have done redeems much. Above all else, your struggle has won you freedom, from the shard in your chest and from the ravening presence in your soul. How you spend your newfound coin and whom you spend it with, that is yours to decide.
My love, you were given a burden that you did not deserve. I hope that my company helped to ease your suffering. I can hear the Founder's thoughts echo quietly in my mind. She is finally at peace. I cannot thank you enough for what you've done. At first, I was bound to you by the link between the Founder and Akachi, but that's gone now, replaced with something stronger. For the first time in my life, there is no drive from within directing my wants. My feelings for you are all my own. We have countless adventures ahead of us, so many faraway lands and planes of existence to see. Where shall we go next, my love?
We have done more than I dared hope. You have reversed the act of a god. The crusade, your crusade, is a great victory. It may seem a symbol, but symbols, like Akachi in the First Crusade, such symbols lend strength to others. It has given me strength. You have shown me beyond a shadow of doubt that this wall can be ended, removed from the plains, and I shall live to see it fall.
I was right to place my trust in you. By your will, my oath is fulfilled, and you are whole again. You have reminded me what it's like to be alive, to struggle, and feel the call of wanderlust. Where are we headed next, little one?
My realm lies at the center of all things. You cannot remain here, but infinite doors are open to you. Return to the Prime if you like, or set your eyes towards some other plane. Wherever you go, mortal, may your road be one of your own choosing. And so you turned your back on my gray city, and chose a path that led you far from my realm. In the long years that followed, you walked many roads, across many plains, and I do not know them all. For some worlds beyond the realms are closed, even to my eyes. But your name emerged time and again in the tales of valor that swirled in your wake. With Akachi's end, the Founder surrendered to death, and her soul passed to Sophia. With it came the knowledge of a dozen lifetimes, and the collected wisdom of all her fragments. Sophia's love for you proved as strong as the Founder's had ever been. You were rarely apart, though she often expressed a desire to see the place where you had spent the early years of your life, just as you had seen hers. Kaelin the Dove left your company, intent upon continuing her crusade against the Wall. She rallied those who had survived your assault upon the City of Judgment and led them to the Plane of Shadow, where she sought still more allies for a new and greater war. Your success was an undeniable boon to her, where before Kaelin had found only tepid support. Now outcasts of all kinds flocked to her banner. But Kaelin's idealistic nature proved her downfall as ever. She struck a bargain with the demi-lich Ramak, thinking to sway him back to her cause. Instead, Ramak lured Kaelin into a trap, and her party was set upon by demons. Though Kaelin escaped, her siblings did not, and the other members of the menagerie were dragged screaming into the abyss. Defeated at last, Kaelin returned to her grandfather's court a broken woman. It is said that she never spoke again, lest her words lead others to their doom. Oku, god of beasts, followed you for a time, but the doom of his race weighed heavily upon him. He finally begged your leave to return to Rashomon, and you gave it. You never saw him again, though the Rashemi believe that he slumbers peacefully in his barrow. And years later, when a host of Thaans crossed the river Mulsantir to invade southern Rushaman, it is said that a great bear spirit led an army of beasts against them. The invading Thaans were crushed, and not a drop of Rashemi blood was spilled. As for the bear, he vanished soon after, leaving no proof of his passage, save for the ravaged corpses of gnolls and red wizards. And what of your fate? In time, you returned home to West Harbor, reunited with a foster father who had never abandoned his search for you, and in that time, had come to fully realize the love he bore you. It was there, upon the village green where your adventures began, that you and Sophia were married, in the presence of those old friends who yet lived. Kelgar Ironfist, Nishka the Rogue, Bevel Starling. These and many others stood in respectful silence as you spoke the words that would join the two of you together. Whether you would settle in the place of your birth, or depart once again to seek a greater legacy still, that story is yet to be told.